lattes in that job.
Hey guys, once again, today's video is going to be a hair different than they have been. I still can't lift anything. Feel good. Doctors say everything's healing nicely so far. Fingers crossed it continues that way. So far, the Lord's been taking real good care of us, and we're healing up nicely, and no problems there. I just still can't lift anything right now. They're concerned with hernia if I try to lift anything from where they done the surgery. Neither here nor there. I want to show you something today that I think is a really cool tool, really worth the investment, and really one of the most useful tools that I've ever purchased. This idea for this video came about last night. Actually, I had a guy reach out to me and ask me if I had this tool, and I told him, yeah, I've got one. And he started asking me questions about it. I'm like, it'd be much easier. I'll just send you a YouTube video on how it works. There's a YouTube video on everything. There's really no videos on this tool, which blows my mind. So if you're a manual transmission guy, especially if you're trying to snatch gears, you need to pick one of these up. This is I believe it's pronounced, I may screw it up, Browell's bell housing alignment tool. But it's pronounced like Browell's. It's not Browns or anything like that. There's one letter missing. I think it's like Browells, something like that. Bell housing alignment tool, and this is what it looks like. It's two pieces. There's a ring and this part that kind of looks like a big bat. And don't worry, it's billet aluminum. It's really not that heavy. It's probably a pound and a half. Unfortunately, I can't snatch up a crankshaft and show you it on an actual engine, but I'll do my best to explain how it works. But this tool right here is one of the best tools I've ever spent money on. First off, why a tool at all? Most people would consider just stick the bell housing on, put transmission in, and go. And honestly, on the street, you'd probably get by just fine. Well, a lot of it would get by just fine, so I know you would. But if you're trying to bang gears at, you have to excuse the rain, I know it's kind of loud, but if you're trying to bang gears at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,000 RPMs, it is very important for that shaft to be dead in line with that pilot bushing so that it's smooth. And the gears will shift a lot smoother. My Galaxy, I can be shifting at 7,000 RPMs, and you can take one finger and just click, click. It's phenomenal. But a lot of it has to do with that thing has to be perfectly in line. There's a tolerance of 5 thousandths for it to be in line. And what you're lining up, and unfortunately I can't pick up a bell housing, but if you look at the back of a bell housing, there's a big round opening. I'm going to try to use the least technical terms I can, so even if you've never done this before, you'll kind of understand what I'm saying. There's a big round hole in the back of a bell housing. And there is some people refer to it as a candlestick, but on the front of your transmission, there is a part that is raised up a little bit, and it's round. And it's what that main shaft goes through the center of. Those two line up on each other. So as the one lines up on the other, and it's usually a snug, well, it should be a snug fit right there. That lines that center shaft up perfectly with that pilot bearing. Now, they are not perfectly in line when you just throw them on there. They never are. And in the past, the go-to way to do this is to put a dial indicator on your flywheel, get you some adjustable dials. You replace those two dials in your block, and you put the bell housing on, snug it up, tighten it up, You take a dial indicator and you take 4 readings, one at top, one at bottom, one on each side. And all those numbers have to be within 5/1000ths of each other. Those numbers will tell you if it needs to go left, right, up, down, maybe at an angle, one way or the other. And you turn those dials to move that bell housing around. Some people have zero issues with that. They knock it out pretty quick. I have to think when I do math. So when I would go to, I dreaded the part of lining up the bell housing because it would take me forever. I would screw up and go, oh crap, I went the wrong way. I'd remeasure everything, go back this way now. And now I went too far this way, or I accidentally went, instead of coming at an angle this way, I went too much this way. And it ended up being a big pain. This tool does away with all of that. So you buy them specific for what you're doing. Now, there's some, I'm sure, interchangeability between different manufacturers and stuff, and I'm sure they are. Not for me to guess. This one right here is made specifically for what they refer to as big block Ford. Yes, I know right now there's some internet guru on there already trying to type out there's no such thing as a big block Ford. Don't be that guy. You have no friends. Listen, they refer to it as a big block Ford, so that's what I'm going to refer to the tool is. So basically this is how it works. This tool, there's 2 things that's specific for your application. This tool has a milled out place on the back right here that sits over that little collar where your pilot bearing goes in, and that centers this tool. So now this tool is centered in line with the crankshaft, so it is perfectly centered. This is it works. Then there's this ring right here that has a set screw in it, so you can move it out and back, take it on off. But this ring, the diameter of it is stamped right there on it. The diameter is for that hole in the back of your bell housing. So this one is specifically for a Ford with a big block Ford crankshaft. Now, I run an aftermarket bell housing on the Galaxy, still the same size as this. For all I know, there may be only like 2 sizes different. I don't know. I'm not going to guess, but I know this works for stock Ford bell housing. This works for my aftermarket bell housing. Maybe it's just because of the design or whatever of the transmission that we run. I don't know. Again, not mine to guess. All I know is this works for my applications. You can call Browell's and they will give you all the information to make sure you get the correct one. But this isn't about which one's what and all this. It's about how it works. So you can see there's 2 slots here in this milled out place. So this milled out place, as we said, fits over that collar, so that lines this up perfectly in line with that bell housing. Then you put a bell or a crank bolt in each one of these. Flywheel bolt. You know what I'm talking about. Put one in each one of these. That holds this in place. And this set screw right here, you slide this collar out and back to where it needs to be to work right. This is already set up for my particular application. Stick your bell housing on. And it's pretty much this simple. Now there is a little fiddling, but it's pretty much this simple. When you slide your bell housing on, if it slides over this, you're lined up. You're within the 5/1000ths tolerance. Actually closer than that really, but you're within the 5/1000ths tolerance. If it doesn't slide over this collar, then that's when you gotta adjust those dials and move it up and down. But here's the great of this. Because this thing is such a snug fit and it stays in place, there's really no guesswork. You can look through there and you can see like, okay, it's touching here, but I can see a little light right here. So I know I need to move this thing like this, and you can tell exactly which way you need to turn those dials to line up. And once you get it lined up so it slides on there real good, lock it down, bolt your bell housing down tight. You can look at your little gap around here. It's almost dummy proof. I always like to take mine on and off a couple times just to make sure nothing moves. Call it good. This literally makes it a 5-minute job, something that used to take me freaking hour, honestly. And this makes it a 5-minute job. This tool is so phenomenal. And there's nothing out there on YouTube about this tool, but I absolutely love this tool. They make them for any application. To my knowledge, any application that you can think of, they make one of these for. And I would honestly say that there can't be that many differences in this ring here. So if you're a guy that does several motors, you could probably buy one of these and a couple of these, or maybe you buy one of these and a couple of these for different motors, whatever the case may be. Now again, you have to be a manual guy to need this tool. But for the amount of time that this tool saves you, even if you only do it once or twice, the tool's paid for itself in time. Me, pretty much everything I do has a manual in it. So I've used that tool and used that tool and used that tool. And even if I only used it on the Galaxy, as many times I've had the motor and transmission out of that Galaxy and changed engines in it and stuff, that tool has paid for itself over and over. It really, really is well worth the money. Now, I don't speculate on, they don't list the price on their website. They never have. Their website is kind of a little bit awkward to navigate. At least for me, I'm not that computer savvy either, honestly. But I will say, back when I bought that tool a couple of years ago, maybe longer than that. And that tool was, I don't remember now, it was like $120, $130 range, in that neighborhood. Everything in the world has went up now. I wouldn't be surprised if it's not like $150 now or something, but regardless, it is well worth the money in the time that it saves you. And I would even go as far as to say, if you have it, use it on any manual you do, even if it is a street car, because it is obvious night and day difference. Once you align one like it's supposed to be and you feel how it shifts, it's obvious night and day difference. If you've ever been shifting, you feel like you got a little bit to get it to go into the next gear, like it's not just real smooth, it's probably not perfectly aligned. Will it work? Sure, absolutely it'll work, especially on the street, because it's going to kind of bump its way in there. At 7, 8, 9, 10,000 RPMs, you don't have time to, sit there and fight it. It needs to clunk right in there. That's what that does for you. It gives you the ability to do that. Again, love this tool. Browell's bell housing alignment tool. It's well worth the money. It's a great tool. And I have been more than pleased with this thing, and I'm a huge fan of it. When I get to where I'm allowed to pick up any, when I get to where I'm allowed to actually pick up any weight, I'll probably show it in the background of one of the other videos with me putting the bell housing on, just so you can see how it works. Unfortunately, right now I can't do that, but it is well worth the money. One other thing I want to touch on while I'm doing a video. Again, we got some giveaways that we need to take care of. I've just been trying to wait till I got healed up a little bit, but possibly in the next video we will come up with a way to give away that MSD distributor that I promised when we got to 1,000. So be looking for that in the next video. And in the future, at some point in time, I had told everybody when we got to 1,000 we would start an engine, and when we got done with it, and we'd give it away. We have not started that engine yet. Honestly, I can't do anything right now because of the restrictions. We're picking up weight and stuff, so that will come a few weeks down the road. We'll get started on that, and maybe we'll do some kind of survey or something of what kind of engine somebody would like to see built on the channel. Maybe we'll do something oddball. I don't know. But next video we'll talk about how we're going to give away the MSD distributor, because that one's a pretty simple thing. I just have to order one and send it out to somebody, but I have to find out what I'm ordering before I send it out. So y'all stay tuned for that. This was going to be a fairly quick video. I just wanted to introduce everybody or show everybody this bell housing alignment tool. I was actually very shocked that there's nothing out there on YouTube about this tool. So I know this wasn't the best video, but at least it puts it in front of some people so they know it's out there. I couldn't really find anything video related about it out there. So hopefully this at least gives you some information that the tool is available. I love it. And again, when we get back to working on some of these engines and I get to where I'm 100% and can lift some stuff and all, I'll actually put the tool on the back of an engine and show you how it lines up and all. I thought I had a lighter, like an aluminum bell housing laying here, but I don't see it, and it's probably laying on a shelf here, but I'm not even sure if it's less than 5 pounds. Bell housing is pretty heavy. So anyway, I hope you guys have a great day. I hope the Lord blesses you today more than He did yesterday. Thank each and every one of you who have reached out to me about my surgery and my healing. I appreciate it. We're healing up nicely. The doctors seem to be very happy with how everything's going. Have another doctor's appointment. I think it's tomorrow, maybe Wednesday. I'll have to look. I have another doctor's appointment the next couple of days, and hopefully everything is still to their liking, and maybe they'll even say, okay, start doing a little more now. I don't know till I know, but I appreciate all y'all hanging in there with me while the video content is kind of a little rocky right now, but it's going to get back to normal, and we're going to get back to some cool stuff. Again, thank you. God bless you all, and we're just going to thank the Lord for another day, and we will see y'all on the next one.
I'd say he's a nut job.